Welcome to the Vue HeatMap Chart tutorial. The Vue HeatMap Chart is a graphical representation of two-dimensional data in which the values are represented with gradient or solid color variations. The data points are rendered as heat map cells using Scalable Vector Graphics or Canvas UI rendering. In this video, you will learn how to configure the HeatMap Chart component with a few of its basic features like adding data points, axes, color palettes, dimensions, formatting, and tooltips. I will start with the application creation process. I'm going to create a Vue application using the Vue Vite command. Make sure you have installed the latest versions of Vue and Node.js. To create a project in Vue, I open Visual Studio Code and type the command npm create Vite at latest. I provide the app name, my Vue app. Next, I choose Vue as the framework and JavaScript as the variant. The Vue project has been created. I navigate to the newly created Vue app and install the required dependencies using the npm install command. Now the application is configured with the default settings of a Vite project. To add the Vue HeatMap Chart component, I install the Syncfusion Vue HeatMap package using the command npm install at syncfusion/ej2 Vue HeatMap --save. This command will install the Syncfusion Vue HeatMap package along with its dependencies. Once the installation is completed, the application is ready to use. The first thing I must do here is register the trial license key to use the Syncfusion components. I open the main.js file and import the register license method from the Syncfusion ej2 base package. Using this method, I register the trial license key. To see how to generate the license key, refer to the link in the description below. The application is now configured to use Syncfusion Vue components. To start using the HeatMap Chart component, I open the App View page and remove the default code snippets. I import the HeatMap component from the Syncfusion ej2 Vue HeatMap package. Then I include the EJ's heat map component tag here to visualize the heat map chart in the browser. Now I need to populate the data in the chart. To do that, I define an array object called heat-map-data and assign values to it. These values are the sales revenue of items sold by each employee in a week. I assign this object to the data source property of the heat map chart. I save the changes and run the application using the npm run dev command. You can see the heat map chart is rendered with the sales revenue, where the revenue for the day is displayed in thousands of US dollars in the cells. Here, each object in the data source is rendered as a column. All the other objects are rendered similarly. Now I will show you how to render the heat map chart with null values. Here, I modify the existing data source by adding null values in the data points. See here, default palettes are rendered for the data points with null values. Next, I will show you how to add a title to the heat map chart. I define an object named title settings and set the text as sales revenue per employee in thousands of US dollars. I then assign this object to the title settings property of the heat map chart. Look here, the heat map chart renders with the title. Let's see how to set the X and Y axis labels in the heat map chart. You can set three types of axes: category, numeric, and date time. In this example, I am going to add the category axis. To add the category axis, I define an array variable named x-axis and add the appropriate string values to the labels property. Likewise, I define an array variable and add the appropriate values to the labels property of the y-axis. I then assign these array variables to the x-axis and y-axis properties of the heat map chart. The heat map chart is now rendered with category labels in the X and Y axes. Data points representing the data source values can be displayed with gradient or fixed colors. Now, I will show you how to customize the palette colors with gradient type. I define a variable named palette settings and add the palette property with custom colors for the heat map chart. Then I set the type as gradient. I assign this palette settings variable to the palette settings property of the heat map. See the heat map chart now, it is rendered with the gradient palette type. In the fixed palette type, solid colors are applied to the heat map cells. To use the fixed palette, the palette type should be defined as fixed in the type property. The heat map chart is now rendered with the fixed palette. Next, I will show you how to set dimensions for the heat map chart. I can specify a dimension in pixels or a percentage. Here I set the height to 350 pixels and the width to 750 pixels. The heat map chart is rendered based on the specified dimensions. Next, I will show you how to format values in the heat map chart cells. I define an object named cell settings, and within it, I set the format property to $value. Here value represents the heat map cell value. Then I assign this cell settings variable to the cell settings property of the heat map. The currency format is now applied to the heat map chart cell data. Finally, I will show you how to enable tooltips in the heat map chart. To enable tooltips, I need to import the tooltip module from the J2 Vue HeatMap package. I define a variable named heatmap and assign this tooltip module to it. Then I inject this variable in the provide section. To access provide service, I need to import it from Vue. Next, I define the property show tooltip and set its value to true. See, whenever I hover over the heat map chart, it displays the tooltip for the data. In this video, I have shown you how to add the heat map chart component to a Vue application. I also showed you a few of its basic features like data points, axes, palettes, chart dimensions, formatting, and tooltips. If you would like to try out the example used in this video, you can download it from the GitHub link in the description below. I have also shared a link where you can find out if you are eligible to claim a free license key to use our Vue suite through our community license. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel.